Hi everyone, this is Adam Clay from Computer Science Teachers. Last night I did a training for our people who are signed up for the Computer Science Teachers curriculum with live training. I did a training for them where we went through Codiva.io and Repl.it. I usually record our trainings and I completely forgot to do that last night, so I went ahead and recorded a new video that goes through showing you how to use these in your classrooms and how you can do these specifically in your online classroom. A couple things real quick. If you're not part of our Computer Science Teachers Curriculum with Live Training, I have a free trial running through May 9th. You can go ahead and go to computerscienceteachers.com and sign up for that. Even if it's after May 9th, 2020, I usually still have one that goes on for about a week, so you can go to computerscienceteachers.com to get a free trial. And those of you that were part of the video last night, or part of our training last night and part of the video today, are watching this for the next 48 hours up until March 29th at midnight Eastern Time, I have a special offer for those that want to sign up for a year-long membership to the Computer Science Teachers Curriculum with live training. You can sign up for that. It gives you all the curriculum that you need to teach computer science AP plus a live training and community where you get to interact with other teachers doing the same thing once every 2 weeks. And so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into this video and this training. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps you become a better teacher in your classroom. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Adam Clay from Computer Science Teachers, and today I'm going to be doing this training over how to use Codiva and how to use Repl.it in your online classrooms, and how you can use these programs, these integrated development environments, to help you work with your students so you can help them debug their code, or you can have them turn in assignments. And so as you walk through this process, if you just follow along, I'm going to give you some links that you can actually use that are at least working at the time of this video. So hopefully they'll still be working later on. But you follow these links and you can actually go through and set up everything you need to for both of these programs to work. Okay, so I've been using Codiva.io for several years. I'm very familiar with that one, and then Repl.it I've just been using this year. And so I'm going to walk you through both of them and some of the just kind of the benefits of these things. So I'll let you go ahead if you want to go to Codiva.io. Okay, it's Codiva.io. And if you want to go ahead and go in there and set up an account, it's a free account, okay? And as you kind of go over there, you can, as we're going through this, if you need to pause this video so that you can do the things that I'm asking you to do, you can go ahead and do that. But I'll also kind of talk and give you some time to do that too. But just some benefits of Codiva.io and why you might choose to use Codiva.io. So it's very fast. Codiva.io is actually, in my opinion, faster than Repl.it. If you just need something fast for your kids to run and to code in, this is actually a really good one to use. It's very simple. There's not a lot of things that this does besides just writing basic code, and so it's very simple. So your students will not get overwhelmed when you're trying to teach them how to use this. And one of the really nice things that this has is it has a compiler. It compiles while you type the code, and I'm going to show you. So on my screen here, I'm going to just create a new project. So if you want to go ahead and if you have your account set up, you are welcome to follow along and do what I'm doing. If not, you can always pause the video, like I said, and then catch back up. But I'm going to create a new project, and when you create a project here, you can call it whatever you want. So let's say I'm just going to create a project called Training 2, and I'm going to create this Training 2. So it opens up this screen, and it says, what's your class and / file name? I always tend to name them the same things, but you need to make sure you put, if you're doing Java, you put .java after that, okay? So you'll click .java, and you'll say create. Pull this down a little bit. Okay, so you have this that will come up like this. This is just your basic, Hello World. It's a Hello Codiva program, just to show you how quickly this will run compared to some of the other online IDEs. Just like that, right? So it actually will run pretty quickly compared to some of the other online IDEs. But let's say that your students are typing, and we're gonna make a stupid mistake. So I'm gonna put system, but not put the I in there. Okay. System.out.println. Okay. So it comes up and it shows you the error right away. I haven't run my code. A lot of the IDEs you use, you'll have to type in as you type in your code. Uh, it doesn't show you the errors. You only get the errors once you run it. Well, for students, this is a really nice way for them to figure out their codes right away. So right off, I've typed this line, and we see the error right there. But let's say that I'm a student, and I have no clue why I have an error. You know how our students reach out to us and say, hey, I don't, where am I off here? Can you look at my code and help me? Well, in the classroom, that's easy, but online environment, it's different. And so here's what you can have them do, and this is what I have my students do. I say, okay, what I need you to do is I need you to email me. I need you to share your code with me and email it to me. And so what they do is they come up here and they click share. And they get this link. Okay, so if I click right here, it comes up and it says this project is now public. You can share this link. So they copy and paste this link. So I'm going to copy it, and they can email you this code. Okay, a copy of this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create a new incognito window. That's right here. So this is going to be, let's say, our teacher window. So they email us the code. We can take this link and paste it in. And when we run this, we get, we get their exact code right here, and we can see the error. So if I try to run this code, it's going to say this project is read only. Click edit to change the code. It's because I just have a copy of it, but it did run. It ran actually the last working version of it. So it said, why is this actually running? It's because it's running the last working version. But if I go, oh, there's your error, I'm going to try to fix it. It won't let me make the change to their program. So the changes you make right here will not actually change their program over here. But what I can do is I can click edit. And when I click edit, I want you to notice this link is going to change up here. So when I click edit, this changes into a new link. That means this is actually your program. If you're signed in, this will add this to your account. But you can come over here and go, okay, there's your error. I'm going to fix your error for you, student. And now that that is fixed, I'm going to send this back to you. So if I click on here, by the way, you can run it. But I can also click, so it's not going to let me run because I'm actually not logged in since I have my teacher account. But what I can do is you can click unshare and you can click share again, and you can get this link. Okay, this is the same link of the new one that you created. Again, this does not change theirs, so you actually have to send this back. So I take the link here, I can copy and paste it, and I can send this link back to my student. And when it sends back to them, I'm just going to paste it in here, send back on my student account. It'll come back over here, and it's fixed. Okay, I can run this code, and it says, again, this is read only. Click edit. That's because this is not the same program that they sent me. I created a new one and sent it back. I can click edit. It creates a new program, and now this will run, and it'll let it work. Okay, so this is an easy way for you, as you're teaching your online classes, for you to have your students send code to you, and you can send code back to them. Okay. Again, this is probably a very simple way to do this. You can have them turn in programs this way. So I did a training last night, a live training on using this, and I had a lot of teachers. Most of the teachers overwhelmingly said they use Google Classroom. So if you're using Google Classroom, I use Google Classroom. What I have my students do is I'll say, okay, share with me your link. They'll come over here. They'll say share, they'll get their link, copy it, and they'll go into Google Classroom and paste their link for me. And that's an easy way to have your students submit their code to you when they're finished, okay? So this is Codiva. Again, it's easy to use, it's fast, it's simple, it compiles for them. My students love using this. Even some of them love it more than using Repl.it, which is actually a very popular one right now. My students like it though because it's fast and it compiles for them. It doesn't seem to be as buggy a little bit at times with them. But on the other hand, though, Repl.it is a lot faster. So I'm going to go ahead and show you Repl.it and how you can use that. So I'm going to do this. I'm already logged in over here, but I'm going to create a new incognito window. That will hopefully not have me be logged in, even though it may. Nope, that's perfect. So if you want to go ahead and create an account in Repl.it, you can do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that, how you do that as of today. So what you can do, if you go to Repl.it, you type that in. And before you sign up, this is what I want you to do. Click on pricing. What you want to do is you want to go down here where it says look for the classroom plan, because they actually have free classroom plans for teachers. Okay, so you click for the classroom plan, and then come down here and it says, okay, what do you get with the classroom K through 12 plan? It's free. Okay, you get unlimited classrooms, up to 200 students, unlimited teacher collaboration, classroom embeds, etc. So you want to go over here and you want to click apply now. And then when you're over here, you're going to enter in your information. It's going to actually ask you. Let me go back and do that again. Okay. You're going to enter in your information, and it's going to ask you what school you're from, and you'll type in the school that you're part of. And it'll go through, and you'll be able to get approved in that process. I can't do that because I'm already signed up. But go through, get your account signed up if you haven't do that. I'm going to talk just for a couple minutes here while you do that, while you go through this process, or you can pause the video. But so some nice things about Repl.it is that you can use multiple languages with it. As soon as you log in, you can see that. It has something called multiplayer mode, which is going to be amazing when I show you what that is and how you can use that with your students. And you can create assignments for your students, okay? So go ahead and get yourselves logged in, and then we'll get rolling with that. So I'm going to assume that you've got yourself logged in at this point. I'm going to jump back over to over here to my screen. So this is my teacher screen, okay? Okay, so some things that I want to show you right from the beginning here. It does let you do multiple languages. My has already been set up. You can answer all the questions that they give you at the beginning, or you can just click on home. A program is called a REPL. So I'm going to show you two ways to create assignments here. Okay, the first way is if you click on plus new REPL, and you click on the language you're using. So I'm using this for Java, and I use this for HTML. Okay, and first off, let me show you this. Okay, before I do this, I'm going to show you this week that as I'm recording this is the first week that we're actually using that a lot of teachers are going online because of the coronavirus. And so multiplayer mode is actually not working perfectly in Java. That's a bug that they know about. I think they're working through. Hopefully by the time maybe you even see this video, it'll be working. But I'm going to show you in HTML how this would work, and so you would know how this would work for your students. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create one of these. And if you want to follow along and do this process, you can do exactly what I'm doing just to play around with this so you can see how this works. You can try again this with Java with this video, right, to see if it's fixed by the time you're watching this video. But if not, I'm just going to show you with HTML. So you're going to say create HTML or create REPL. It does come up with its own, own name. You can change that name up, obviously. And I'm just going to make a quick program here, okay? Just a really quick, just HTML program. But so I actually have my students right now using this in their Intro to Technology class. They're writing simple HTML programs. So let's say that they're coming over here and we're going to say hello world. Here's what's really nice about REPL is as I run my code, it will actually show their web page. So if you want to use this ever for web design, or if you're ever doing that, it's an amazing tool. It'll show their web page and what it looks like here. And not only that, it hosts a web page for them at this address right there. So that's my address. So if I click on open in a new tab, here's the web page. It actually creates the web page instantaneously for them that they can test it as they go along. So if they come back over here, and they're going to make that BG color equals red, they get their background color red, refreshing their page. It's very quick, very simple if you're going to do web design, that you can do this with them. So amazing tool. Definitely check this out if you're doing web design. But that's not really what I'm showing to you. I know most of us are Java AP Computer Science teachers. So I'm going to show you really cool thing that you can do here. So you can invite someone to actually code with you. So let's say that I was coding over here. I left the O out of here, and I'm trying to run my code, and it's not working. And I'm like, why is my code not working? They can't figure it out, and they need you to help them figure it out. So here's what I do with my students. I tell them, invite me to be part of your code. And so this is different than sharing. Sharing is kind of like in Codiva, but inviting, they can take this link and they can send me and email me this link. Okay, I'm going to create a new incognito window. Actually, I'm just going to open this up in Firefox, just to so we have a completely new browser, right, and we can make sure that I'm not logged into anything. So it comes over here, and of course I am logged in. So let me log out of here really quickly because it's not going to work if we're doing it that way. But oh no, okay. So it actually fortunately did come back. It's logged into the Hill 1222, which is one of my test accounts. So I set up a test account. Here's what I want you to see though. Okay, so I'm logged in as the Hill 1222, and here's my teacher account. So I'm over here, and I'm going to make this smaller so we can see both of these working at the same time. We can actually both interact with the code at the same time. So if I'm over here and I say BG color, if I'm over on this screen and I was like, it shouldn't say hello world, it should say hello universe. You can actually see and interact and collaborate with code with each other. Okay. This is also a good thing you can have. You can have your students collaborating with each other in code. You can have however you want to do it. But the really cool thing that I do with my students is they will email me their code. I will get on a video call with them and say, okay, let's do this together. And we'll go back and forth and we'll talk, and I will be able to interact and collaborate on them with their code to help them get that to work. That's a very powerful tool, especially in an online class environment, okay? And you can have up to 100 people on this at the same time. And so, so again, jumping back and forth, you can see, if I start typing over here, you can see all that it actually will come in here and add this code. And it allows us to type back and forth, and it'll show that it's actually me doing that. And if I'm over here, it'll, and as I'm typing, it will show that the other person's doing it. Really powerful tool. Play with this with your students. Really great way to do that. Okay, so that's the multiplayer mode. But let's say that you're a teacher and you want to create an assignment for your students. There's two ways to do this. Number one, we can set up classrooms. I'm going to show you how to set up a classroom in a minute, which is also a really powerful way of doing this. But first, I want to show you just a more simple way to do it, so you can have two different options here. So I'm going to keep my student account open, and now I'm going to go back to Java. So let's go back to our Java. I'm going to create a new Java program. And when I create this over here, I may decide to create a program for them. Let me make this a little bit bigger, just for now. Okay, so I may say, you're going to write a method that that adds two numbers together. Just something simple. Okay. I could even come over here and I could even set this up for them, right? So public static int add int x comma int y. So maybe I'm going to set all this up for them, and so maybe my thing is finish the method. Finish the method. Okay. And so this says that I'm getting error because it doesn't have the return in here, but that's why. Okay, so here's what I would do. If I created this and I was like, I want my students to work on this code, I'm going to click share with them, and I'm going to share this link. Okay, so if you're using Google Classroom, whatever you're using, you can post this into wherever you're using. Okay, so here's my student. My student's over here, and I'm going to paste this. I get this link, and Notice that what's different now, and this is my student, so my student just got this link. What's different is they're not they're not invited. We're not in this at the same time. Okay, so even if I try to type or anything, it's gonna give me an error, and it's gonna say it actually did it for me already. It created a fork. It created a new program for me, just like what the share did. But there was also, I don't know if you saw it at the beginning, but there was one. It said fork up here, and if you click on that, if it says fork, that creates a new program for your students. So this is actually, if all your students kind of got this and they started typing, or they just said create a fork, what that does is it creates this for them. This is their own program. So now I'm over here, int z equals int or x plus y, return z. And so notice, even though I typed this over there, it did not change the code over here. That's because they created their own code. And so they can come over here and add, 5, 3. So they can create their own code. They can test out their own code. And then, thanks. And when they test out their code, it'll work. And then they can submit this to you through Google Classroom. They come over to share. They can share this with you, and you'll get that same thing. You'll get a link to this, and they can share it. So that's the first way to create assignments for your students. Okay, you can create assignments for your students just by creating a new REPL and submitting it in that way. By the way, I didn't show this over here, but you can actually, as you create a REPLs and you do this, you can add files to this. So if you have, one of the games that my students are creating right now is Uno. So you can actually add a new class, the Uno card class, where they can come in here. So you can actually set this entire thing up for them and email them and share that with them. Okay, so that's the first way. The second way is to go under teachers, and we're going to create a class. Okay, so I have my students over here, and so what I'm going to do is I set up a training class. So I'm going to go ahead and I have 8 people enrolled. These are from my attendees from last night's session. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to add a student in class. Oh, that's right. I'm going to come over here. So when I have a class that I've set up, and I'm going to show you this, and then I'll show you how to set up a class. But I have students. I can invite more students into my class by coming over here and getting this link. And I click invite, or you can type in their emails and click invite. So I'm over here. This is my student class. I may have already invited myself into this, but whether I didn't, you send them this link, and it will bring them to this class. Okay, so here they are. They are now into this training class. What I'm going to do too, if you want to follow along with this so you can see, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite you into this class. I'll just keep this class active, and you can join this class and mess around and see what it would look like from a student perspective, okay? So you can type this in here, Repl.it/classroom/invite/NY, capital B, lowercase b, 9WP, okay? So you can actually join this class so you can see what's going on. So if you want to go ahead and do this, you can go ahead and join this class. And as you're typing this in, I did want to share with you. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but this is part of the computer science teachers, the live training bundle, part of the live training series that we have. If you go to the computerscienceteachers.com website, you can sign up for a free trial for our curriculum and check it out. Just a quick plug for what we're doing. But for the live training, we do these trainings I do these trainings once every 2 weeks, just in different areas. So go check that out at computerscienceteachers.com. But okay, so I'm going to assume that you've invited yourself and you've gotten into here at this point. So what I want to show you, this is kind of where what you would see. So in yours, as you're doing this, you would see the same thing. You wouldn't say completed here, but it would say that. So you click on this hello world. I've already completed this assignment, but it says write a line of code that will print out the word hello. So I want to show you what happens. So if your students, I've got to unsubmit this. So as you guys do this, you won't have this submitted already, but you're going to come over here and you can type this in. So let's say I just put hello, but I created this assignment expecting hello world. So they can run their code just like they would normally run their code. But as they run their code, it says hello, they can test it out. But they can also, if you click on this arrow, you can run the tests that I've set up for you. So as I run the test, I'm expecting hello world. And I'm getting an error. It says there is a type mismatch. Why? Because this says hello that I've made, and it says hello world, what it's expecting. So I'm going to come over here and say hello. I'm going to fix my problem. Hello world. Run my test again. And this is working now. Okay. So once they have that, they can submit this. You as a teacher will get this submitted, and you can actually just check that they've done the work you've asked them to do. Okay. So back to the classroom over here. Add two numbers. Here I'm going to show you this one. You can do this with numbers. You can do this with letters. Letters. I mean like output, or you can just test input and output. So here's another one. Complete the add method, and I've already done this one again over here. But complete the add method that prints out the sum of the two numbers that are input into the program. So I've kind of created this already. Obviously, you would just kind of create a frame for them to do. But I just wanted to show you, so when you run the tests, I set up 3 different tests for it to run here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So it's adding these 3 up to make sure that I'm getting the right numbers. I did get the right numbers here. And so once they've got that working correctly, you can click submit. If they did it with the times, they just did that incorrectly, they'll get errors on that. So 1, there we go. So it failed. Why did it fail? Because the teacher's input was this 133 plus 2 should have been 135. Instead, it multiplied it. Okay, so this is how you can set up, or this is what it looks like for a student to see assignments. Now, how would you set this up? So I'm going to set one up for you. I'm going to go back to my teacher board. And this is new projects. This is going to be allowing the students to use REPLs in the classroom. This is new. I'm not going. You can play around with that a little bit, but I'm going to show you how to create an assignment. So name your assignment. I'm going to say, assignment. Let's just say printing assignment. Okay. So we'll create that, and then I'm going to say, okay, print out your name. Okay. So what I would do is come over here and I would take this out altogether. So write a program that prints out your name. So this is my assignment that I give them. I can do a student preview to see what that looks like. You can actually come over here as a student just to test it out. What's it's going to look like for them. Print line. Adam Clay. And I can then run that code and submit. But this is how you would set it up. Okay. This is a preview. When you do that, it's going to do a preview. So let me show you. But let's say instead of printing out your name, you're going to print out hi, the word hi. So what I'm going to do is click on next. And it gives you some options here. You can do a manual grade. Now I'm doing, so one of my projects I'm doing with my students is like Uno. They've had to create Uno. Now they're creating random cards. The computer's creating random cards. They're putting it inside of a array list, which is expanding and contracting depending on different things. So the outputs are going to be very different. So for those, I would manually grade those. But a lot of these I'm going to do with just input-output matching. Okay, and here for this one I'll do an input-output match. This is where you can create your test cases. So for this one, I just want to print out hi. Okay, that's what it's going to do. So I would say create. It makes me name it so first test case. And I'm going to create that. You can preview this again, and then come over here, and again, we'll just test it without even doing anything. It's going to say, nope, sorry, that doesn't work. But if I do my system.out.println, hi, and I run the test on there, it's going to just give me an error. So what is my error? Oh, I forgot my semicolon. Thank you. Let's run those tests again. And this is going to work. They can then submit their code. Okay. So, but let's say that I wanted to do like, let's say that what I wanted to do actually was, instead of this, I wanted to do like numbers. So let's say I'm doing that adding program. I could set up, it says input separated by new lines that will be sent to your student's program. So let's say 3 plus 5. And I'm going to do regular expressions. So you get some options here. It says flexible, which will ignore white space and special characters. Strict, which has to be exactly the same. Or regular expressions, which would be like the numbers you would use. So 3 plus 5 is 8. I'll put that in there. It's going to be the first test. And then I can create a second test. And say, 5 and 7 is 12. And I could create that. Okay, so you can do as many tests as you want. We can go back to our student preview at this point. Of course, I did change my assignment here, so I'm not printing that out. But what you could do, and I won't write this whole program because you guys would know how to do that. But notice I'm doing the input. This is my output it's expecting. And so that's how that would work, okay? So this is how you would create an assignment for them. Now, let me show you, back over with my students over here. As I refresh this page and I created this assignment, it's not going to show up. I'm going to submit this anyway since this is a student one. Make sure that you actually publish your assignment. Publish now. You can actually publish it, save it as a draft, or schedule for later. So you publish that, and then this will add to their assignment. So there's a printing assignment right there. Okay, so you could either schedule that at or however you wanted to. Okay, so that's how you create a classroom and add assignments to this. Now I want to show you one last thing, and I'm going to go back to the teacher page here. This is going to save you a lot of time. There's actually a class out here that's called Auto Graded Course APCSA that you can create with Repl.it. I've imported this a couple of times now, but let me just show you. If you click on Import Classroom, right here you'll see Auto Graded Course APCSA that has 114 assignments already created for you. Okay, so these assignments that are already created are ones that you can use for your classroom. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. It says you can take and learn, or you can import and teach. So I'm going to go ahead and import and teach this. Now, as you import and teach this, you have two options. It's going to come up here and say Teacher Dashboard, so I'm going to click on Teacher Dashboard. You can add students directly into this course and just say, hey, you're now in this course, and you're going to take this course. So you can come in here and just add students to it. This is your course that you've created. Not that you've created, but that you're able to use. Look at all the assignments, though, that's been created for you. As you kind of scroll through here, you have everything from array lists to constructors to looping through arrays, printing arrays, a lot of different things, okay? So I'm going to click on one of these just to show you what that looks like, and you're able to look at that too. You can come over here, and you can edit the assignment, and you can make it your own. So on a line 5, declare an array of size 5 and assign the values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 to it. Then use a for loop to print it out. Okay, so they can actually run this to make sure that works. You can grade that. But let's say that you don't want to add them to this whole thing. You can come over here. You can grab one of these assignments, and you can what's called clone it. Okay, so you come over here and you click on clone. And you can add this to whatever class you want. So if I'm going to add it to our Repl.it training, that if you signed up for that class, it'll be in there now. But I could clone this, And this is added to my Repl.it training. Okay, so if I come over to Repl.it training, and this is now in here, this is saved as a draft. So it's going to bring this up right away. I'm going to go back to Classroom though, just so you can see that when I look on my assignments, it's not in here. Okay, you're like, well, where did it go? It's actually because it's a draft. So it's saved as a draft, so you have a chance to go in there and look at it. You can look at the code. You can look at the assignment. You can make any changes that you want to it. You can look at the different test cases for it, and you can publish it. So I'll say publish now. This assignment has now been published. Okay, so now back over here in our Repl.it training class, my student comes in, and I did this exact same one yesterday for in our live training. And you can come in here and type in and have your students do your code here. Okay, so here's the nice thing that happens when they do these assignments. So I can actually come in as a teacher, and I can see who's done what. So I have 8 students here, and I can actually see that a couple of my students have already done. A couple of people from the training last night have already done 2 of the assignments. Okay, so they jumped in, were messing with this, and have already done, the assignments and who didn't. So you can actually track your students as they do these assignments. Okay, so again, these are easy ways to set this up. Some questions that came up about things. Can you, inside the classroom itself, can you share that code back and forth? No, you can't. So here's some pointers of what I do. When my students are working inside of a classroom code, what I will have them do is I will have them submit their code to me. They'll say, submit your code, and then I'll go in there and check their code. So, for example, over here, there's a student this from the training last night. He completed this one. So I'm coming in here and I'm going to look at this and go, okay, this is where your code, this is where it's off. I can email that person back and say, okay, so you were off here. Go ahead and unsubmit that, and you can work on that. So I have my students submit their code, and I say, just you can work as unsubmit. You can give them comments and down here as well if you're grading it. But that's an easy way for you to interact with your students with their code that they're doing. If they're doing it in a classroom, have them submit it to you. You cannot change it over here, okay? So if it's a lot, you can always have them put this into a Repl.it as well, okay? But they can't do that. They can't share that with each other as well. But that's what you can do, is easy ways for them to check it. So again, those are ways. Codiva, very simple, easy way to use this. Sometimes Repl.it has problems. Especially, I think, is getting pounded over this last couple weeks with all the students who are adding and who are now using this because of the coronavirus and everybody going online. Codiva.io is a really good backup plan for you to use, to have your students use. I have some students that are still on there who are writing their code in Codiva and moving it over here because they're just so comfortable with it. But yeah, either way, those are 2 good programs to use to help you teach your students online and use them in online classes. Again, this training was part of the Computer Science Teachers Resources bundle, the Computer Science Teachers Curriculum with live training. We're running specials at different times on that, but if you do sign up for that, go to computerscienceteachers.com and you can check out information on that. Sign up for our free trial. And we get trainings like this once every 2 weeks. I'd love you to be part of. You can connect with other people who are going through the same thing. It's an awesome community just to be part of. But anyways, I want to thank y'all for watching this. Hopefully this gives you some things that you can work on as you move forward.